Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys. And today I will be talking about one of the latest Roja Dove fragrances that I'm sure a lot of y'all want to hear about. This fragrance is a special edition. It is kind of like an anniversary type of fragrance, guys. And with that being said, this fragrance is expensive. $600 is the price tag on it. And I believe they even charged an extra $100 for you to get it earlier, guys. So I got it pretty early thanks to some decanters that I know. And today I will be giving you guys my no hype breakdown on this Roja Dove fragrance. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys, okay? Liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel, especially that we are headed towards 22,000 subscribers. So, guys, please continue all your support. I mean, I definitely see it when I look at the analytics and the stats. Please continue all your support. Share the videos to your friends, especially those that want to know more about the actual fragrance and actual scent development, plus my recommendations if you should buy it or not, or test it. Please make sure to share these videos, guys. Again, thank you so much for all your support. And the fragrance that we'll be talking about today is none other than Roja Dove Haute Perfumerie RDHP20. Yes, RDHP20. 20. Oh my goodness, guys. And this fragrance really got me excited because, hey, I was a fan of RDHP15, which launched 5 years ago. Back in 2019, I made that review. Yes, it was lengthy, but I tried my best to really describe that scent, guys. And this is the 20-year anniversary perfume from Roja Dove's Haute Perfumerie. And Haute Perfumerie, I believe, is the specialized like salon or really upscale salon of Roja Dove located at Harrods, guys. All right, so it's an anniversary type of perfume, a special edition type of perfume. And yeah, it is $600 in price, 495 GBP or $600. So of course, I mean, I'm sure a lot of y'all are wanting to know what's in this juice, what it actually smells like. And of course, how does this compare to RDHP15 and other Roja Dove like special perfumes? And so today we'll be testing this fragrance. As always, I will break it down for y'all. I'll tell you everything from scent development to performance and usage. Let's go spray this thing right now. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, the latest Roja right here, Roja Dove Haute Perfumerie RDHP20, guys. All right, so as you can tell from my reaction, I love this opening. All right, I really love this opening. This is your classic Roja Dove Chypre, and he really is the master of this thing. All right, if you've never smelled a Roja Chypre, and I know some of them are on the expensive side of the collection, this is one way of experiencing that. Now, there are some modifiers here in this fragrance that make it different, slightly different from RDHP15. And let's talk about the opening right here. Right here in the opening, you're getting your classic Roja Dove aldehydes, all right? And it does come, the aldehydes do come with your citruses, your lemon, and your bergamot. But one of the big things that's kind of different here is lime, all right? So lime is definitely a different citrus here that lends like a sharp, kind of like bitterness into the mix. And I would say that this lime is the starting point of what I would say is the masculine side of RDHP20, guys. Okay, so again, this is your typical Chypre Roja Dove opening with aldehydes and citruses. What a wake up, what a zing. And it smells totally expensive. I don't know, Roja's aldehydes are just different from everyone else. And then you have that lime, that sharp lime. That is quite different from RDHP15. Now, almost immediately, guys, with this uplifting zing of aldehydes and citruses, and again, that masculine smelling lime, I mean, really, like I said, this is quite different from RDHP15. you are also going to get some spices, all right? It gets warm and spicy almost immediately, maybe 5 minutes into the fragrance, guys, with the addition of clary sage as well as geranium, all right? These are the notes that I can really smell kind of pop out early, and it gives a nice warm and spicy balance into this fragrance. Again, leaning more masculine. That's the first thought I had in mind, that, you know, this is like RDHP15, the way that it's built, but then there are certain notes like lime and geranium and clary sage that really make this smell masculine, but it doesn't take away the aldehydic citrus intro that you also can enjoy with RDHP15. But again, there is that strong, warm, and spicy base. And even in the citruses, you have the lime. And so this is, to me, a more masculine-leaning intro of Roja Dove Chypre. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this is why you buy this fragrance, if this is the reason why people will buy this fragrance, because Roja does the Chypre style where it smells absolutely rich AF, all right? Like you're a baller, billionaire. There's something about his Chypre style. I don't know, it's the aldehydes plus the citruses, like I said, that makes you smell like royalty, all right? That is 100%. That's what he does. So it does smell very expensive in the intro. And again, mood enhancing, but also, like I said, this new modifier of spicy and warm is here in RDHP20, which I think will, you know, get the mainstream, all right? Like Roja's expensive ass intro usually is, you know, appreciated by people that like, you know, niche perfumes, niche snobs. But I think because there are these modifiers and you can actually enjoy both sides of the aldehydic expensive Chypre intro, but then with a warm, spicy like hit of geranium and clary sage, I think that this is gonna be likable by the mainstream as well, who surprisingly, I mean, really, I'm pretty sure can afford all of this, because this is the same way people afford like multiple bottles. I mean, this is $600, but people, even that, you know, people that spend $100 for a perfume, they got 6 bottles. It's the same thing. So I really feel like the mainstream will enjoy this lovely aldehydic warm spicy intro. Okay, now let's head into the mid of this fragrance, RDHP20. Now the main note that really comes out, I would say like 40 to 45 minutes into this fragrance, is going to be peach, guys, all right? Peach is a warm and fruity note that pops out here, guys. And, you know, the moment I saw that and the moment I smelled this, I said, man, this smells really, really familiar, because there's another Roja fragrance that has almost like the same makeup, and that's Turandot. And I just reviewed that, like, I think a couple of months ago, and it has the same makeup, like aldehydes into peach. And the thing, though, about Turandot is that it's not really that popular. I think it was a special edition perfume. So a few people know about it, and I'm sure it wasn't sold to a lot of people anyways. So this is a good way of enjoying Turandot. And I liked Turandot, okay, because of that peach transition, peach floral transition from the aldehydic intro, almost exactly the same. Like I said, difference is RDHP20 is a lot more masculine with the other masculine modifiers. But again, you go into peach, and, you know, I like Turandot because I like unisex perfumes, but there were some people that didn't like it. And that's because of that. It was a little bit more unisex with the peach. And, you know, this part of this fragrance, I'm pretty sure if you're, you know, you like femme-leaning fragrances, you might like this. And if you are okay with unisex fragrances, I think you'll be okay. But the peach is definitely a big part of the mid of RDHP20. Now, in addition to this peach, guys, are the balancers of florals, guys. And again, much like the Chypre, Roja Dove is the best at this, all right? The florals of Roja are just unbelievable. They smell like realistic smelling. I mean, you can really almost like pick them out one by one in this bouquet, all right? That's what I can say. Some fragrances that have florals, they are blended in and you can't really tell so much because there are other notes that are disrupting it. Here you get that peach, but it's like the perfect balance to have these different florals. And there's a lot of them, guys, all right? So you have your fresh florals such as jasmine and magnolia, which has a citrusy tinge, kind of like a continuum from the intro. And then you also have freesia, which is a powdery fresh floral as well, guys, all right? And of course, guys, this won't be a Roja classy ass chypre without ilang ilang. So ilang ilang, quite minor here, I would say. It's quite minor here, but it is always placed there by Roja as an opulent smelling floral. Makes this smell opulent. But again, one thing I'll point out is how beautiful the bouquet is. The balancers, having powdery freesia, fresh jasmine, as well as magnolia in here to counterbalance that peach. That warming peach note that's placed in the mid, I think is pretty fantastic. Those that love niche fragrances, as well as, you know, the details and, you know, really nitpick these notes, if you really appreciate high quality notes, will appreciate this mid. And again, if you're into unisex fragrances, you will as well. If you're more on the masculine side, maybe you won't. But for me, as someone that appreciates perfumes, you can really smell the difference in quality in the blend here in the mid of this fragrance. Okay, now let's talk about initial sillage and projection of RDHP20. Now, in my opinion, this fragrance is a lingering draw-in scent with a scent trail. This was made for a king or queen in the sense that this is, in my opinion, a fragrance that should be used when socializing. If you are socializing and talking to people in the room, important people, VIPs or what have you, or special people in your lives, I mean, definitely this is a fragrance that brings that wonderful like aroma, especially at this point in the mid where you have, you know, the bouquet of wonderful florals. But then the cool thing about this fragrance is you have the draw-in, you know, so you have aldehydes as your mood enhancing, you have the florals for people around you to create that wonderful scent trail, but also you have peach, you have the spices, you have all those things to draw people in around you, from around you. But this, to me, like I said, is a socializing perfume, especially in higher classes or special events. This is what you use to do that. It is not invasive. It is actually alluring. It is different, 100% different from everyone else. It's not that super strong, but it does have a scent trail. That is what I think about the initial sillage and projection of this fragrance right here. Okay, now on this mid, on the latter mid, is when you will see some changes. And this happens, I would say, like 2 hours into this fragrance, because you are going to get that sensual gradient of RDHP20, guys. You are going to get the spice of clove, a blanket of clove, as well as Peru balsam. You're going to get some balsamic woods as well as some spices to envelope this mid. And so you go from this really nice floral peach, and the peach eventually warms up, and then you get an envelope of spices and woods. And again, this is another masculine modifier that I think the guys will like with this fragrance. Again, the only like unisex part really to me, or maybe femme-leaning, is the peach and the florals. But again, if you are used to Turandot or other Roja Dove fragrances, this is nothing new. I mean, you will get a floral mid for sure. But then, like I said, latter mid is when it gets enveloped by cloves, balsamic woods. And again, there's that masculine modifier. It gets warming, sensual. There's a gradient right here on the latter mid of this fragrance. Now, on the latter mid as well, you're going to get some floral changes, guys, because you're going to get violet and rose. Now, the violet is actually secondary to the rose. Rose is much stronger, but still very much embedded into the envelope right here. And it's basically your sensual gradient floral note that is a shift change from obviously your powdery and lovely spring summer type florals into this gradient of rose. Okay, guys, now let's head into the dry down of RDHP20, guys. And if you guys check this out on paper, you're probably like, oh my god, there's a ton of notes right here. Am I going to smell all of these notes at the same time. No, guys, all right? So here I am to actually make some sense out of these tons of notes. I mean, I feel the same way when I look at a Spirit of Dubai fragrance. The same thing, guys, okay? Now, again, let's do a recap. Aldehydic citrus intro with a masculine lime, and then goes into some spice and then some peach. You're gonna get a unisex mid with peach and wonderful florals. Again, cannot be missed. And then eventually you get some clove that envelopes it, as well as some balsamic woods. That's where we're at. So that starts the gradient into this dry down. And guys, the dry down is really where the sensuality of the gradient really finishes it off, because here you are going to get some really prominent notes of labdanum, which is a leathery ambery note. So there's a little bit of sensual leather here with some amber. And then you're also going to get incense, you're going to get patchouli, you're going to get woods. Pretty earthy, guys, all right? And of course you have this oud, guys. And if you're wondering what's up with this oud, the oud right here in this fragrance is basically a smoky, earthy type wood, all right? It is well embedded into the other notes. The other notes are actually more, they're a lot stronger than the oud, but it is gonna be there. You're still gonna kind of detect it, but it's not gonna be your animalic, like Middle Eastern oud. It's basically a smoky, earthy type oud, all right? Really mixed in with the other smoky, earthy notes. Again, patchouli, woods, oak moss, and then you also have your incense, guys, all right? So it's a beautiful, sensual, graceful dry down right here. And you are also going to get some continuity notes. You're going to get some powdery iris that continues the powderiness of this fragrance, guys. Again, this is a continuum, aldehydes with soapy powdery into freesia powdery, and then also orris in the dry down powdery. It has a continuum right here into this dry down. And of course, you're going to get the sweeteners. You have amber, you have tonka bean, you have some slight vanilla. It's not a vanilla takeover dry down, guys, but you have the sweeteners to kind of sweeten the whole thing. It gets pretty ambery actually within the late dry down, ambery and sweet, and that's because of these sweet balancers, guys. But make no mistake, again, that whole dry down is a sensual, in my opinion, masculine, with a slightly sweet dry down. I like it. It's your classic Roja Dove, but again, this is, I think, quite different from RDHP15. And with that being said, guys, in my opinion, RDHP20 is the more masculine leaning version compared to RDHP15, all right? I mean, again, if you follow the way that I described this scent, and I've worn this a lot in Canada, guys, I mean, that's my conclusion. Again, the only unisex part was probably the peach and florals part, but it's not really a big deal because eventually it gets enveloped anyways. And that's how I feel. And I feel like, you know, just scent memories wise, just remembering it, like I really felt like RDHP15. The guys that liked 15 were really big Roja fans, all right? And you probably have tried other fragrances like Turandot and other things like Enigma Oud, you know, and you're okay with that, you know, and that's why I feel a lot of people really liked RDHP15 plus that aldehydic intro. Well, here you get that same lovely aldehydic intro, but with the warm, spicy, like masculine, enveloping, like sensual side, which I think will be a hit with the guys. Now, is this a mainstream type of fragrance? I feel like the mainstream will like this, all right? But it is also a foray into Roja Dove, all right? I'm talking about the more expensive stuff, not just your typical like Enigma Cologne or your Elysium. This is actually, I think, if you want to link up with the mind of Roja and the way that he does things on a higher level, this is definitely the way to do it. But also, there's that mainstream level part still in this fragrance. You get to enjoy that chypre, you get to enjoy the aldehydic intro, same as 15, but with a lot more safety in terms of masculine leaning. Again, this has some spices. This has an envelope of comforting amber, labdanum, and incense, and some earthy woods. And so I think this is perfect for the guys without a doubt. Now, usage-wise, obviously, this is an upscale grabber to special events. Again, to me, this was made for a king or a queen. You know, this is for high-level socializing guys, or of course, if you just want to smell expensive. You know, maybe you've retired with a ton of Bitcoin or a lot of properties and you just want to smell rich today. Well, this is that fragrance that does it, all right? There's no other fragrance that smells like it unless it's another Roja Chypre, all right? This is very, very expensive smelling, and you'll definitely feel the vibes as you spray this fragrance, guys, all right? Again, upscale grabber, 2 special events, and also this fragrance right here, I would say, is usable in cooler, cold environments or fall, winter because of the difference in the makeup of this versus RDHP15, which I would say is more on the spring summer side. This one, again, does give you that aldehydic boost and the florals, but again, you've got the notes of peach to set it up, and amber and other gradient notes, musk, labdanum, leather, as well as your incense and earthy oud patch. And these are kind of like fall winter notes, so it adds a layer of comfort, some warming comfort for cold environments, guys. All right, so that's the usage. And again, to me, masculine leaning. I think the women will like this as well, but I think if you got a choice between 15 and 20 and you're a woman, you might lean towards 15. All right, again, this is more masculine than 15. Now, total performance, guys, here is 11 hours. All right, and this fragrance really at the latter part is more for the wearer, in my opinion. It doesn't project that much on the dry down stage, but it is for the wearer, for you to really enjoy that sensual gradient, that ending of this fragrance. So again, 11 hours total performance. Okay, so now let's talk about the cost of this fragrance, guys. Is it worth the cost? Now, this fragrance right here is $600 for 100 ml, and that might sound like a lot, but if you think about it, guys, and I've said this the same way with RDHP15, this is a great price for a collectible bottle, an anniversary bottle that actually smells good. It's very, very usable. And thank God it's not in the super expensive $1,000 like realm. You know, there are other fragrances that are like thousands of dollars for one bottle. And I really believe that people can afford this if you really wanted to, because people spend, you know, more than $600 on smaller priced perfumes. If you compound them, that pretty much is the same as buying one of these. And this is, like I said, quite special if you are wanting to experience the higher level of Roja's talent in making his Chypre. This is a great way of doing that, and also without, you know, the possibility of it leaning femme. You know, this is again the more masculine leaning version Chypre compared to RDHP15. $600 for 100 ml. That's a big bottle. Big bottle, lots of usage. I mean, it will be there, I mean, till the end of time for you because it's an upscale grabber, 2 special events perfume. I think 100% it is worth it for $600. And that is it. That is my no hype review on Roja Haute Perfumerie 20, RDHP20, the 20th anniversary of the House of Roja, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance. If you have tried this fragrance, let me know. And if you've tried RDHP15, it's an old video of mine, but I would love to know what y'all thought of RDHP15 as well. All right, now this fragrance, like I said, I really like it. It's really worth a bottle in my opinion, and it's really a great concoction that I think you guys should try. I got this decant from David Sanchez, and I'm not sure if he still has any more, but I want to thank David for sending this out as soon as possible, because I was able to get it before my trip to Canada so I could wear this over there. Thank you, David. And again, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Again, your support allows me to buy tons of these so I can test them objectively and to give you guys a no hype breakdown of all these lovely hyped fragrances, guys. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless, take care, peace.